Good morning, it's Karen at Simply Living for Him. I'm here to do my daily devotional video. I hope that these videos do encourage you. If they do, let me know, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can see them every single day. Are you the type of person that overthinks things? I think many of us can relate to overthinking. I've actually really dealt with this a ton in the past and still do at times, where I overthink everything. You know, that analysis paralysis, they call it, where you kind of, just turn over something in your mind over and over. I mean, I could have a doctorate in Google because I will Google it, I will think about it, I will overthink about it, and then I can get paralyzed in it. In fact, the other morning I woke up super early, like 4 a.m., and was worrying about something. It wasn't even really that big of a thing, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I was overthinking it and overthinking it. And my husband woke up and I said to him, I have been up since 4 o'clock. I've been thinking about these two things. And I told him, and his response from there in the darkness was, why don't you just pray? And, in that moment, he kind of snapped me back to reality. And so I stopped overthinking and I just started praying about it. And the peace that came over me was evident. And of course, the things I was overthinking and worrying about didn't even happen. They weren't even an issue. And my husband was so right. So we can overthink, but we can never overpray, right? So it says here in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, it tells us the Lord's Prayer. And we are to pray without ceasing, it says in other places in the Bible. And then it tells us exactly how to pray in Matthew. And it says here, Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom and power and glory forever. Amen. We did an entire study on the Lord's Prayer in the Simply Living for Him online community. You are welcome to join that community and go check out that study at any time. It's free. But I just wanted to say something. We're not going to break down the whole Lord's Prayer here, but there is nowhere in the Lord's Prayer, which is kind of our map of our posture of how we should pray. There is nothing in here about us and what we should do. It's all about, God being holy and His will being done. And He will provide for us, and He will do this, and He will do that. There's nothing in here that says in our map of praying, which we are to, have a posture of prayer at all times, a posture of submission, and we are to pray without ceasing, which means that we are to submit to God all day long. We are to submit to Him, to His will, and to live our lives in that way. There is nothing in this Lord's Prayer that says, to the reader, you should do this. You should do that. It's all about what He will do. And so our only thing that we need to do in our prayers, in our lives, is submit to His will and trust in His will. Because why would I want to be anywhere but His will? If I am in His will, I am safe, I am secure, I am exactly where I need to be. It says over here in Ephesians 1:11, we have obtained an inheritance, having been predestined according to His purpose, who works all things after the counsel of His will. No matter what is going on in this world, whether things are chaotic or out of control, or you feel like, you need to do something, all you need to do is remember that God is in control. And instead of overthinking the things going on in this world and overanalyzing and over worrying, you can't over pray. So go to Him when you're feeling chaos, when you're feeling out of control, when you're feeling unsure about the future. You definitely, I'm not saying we just don't have to think about anything. You definitely, want to have discernment and want to think about things. But in the end, you want to be able to submit and surrender those things to the Lord. He is in control of all things. He holds all things together. And our job is to recognize that we are not God. When we overthink things, we are trying to steal control from God. When we overthink things, we try to, always kind of be God, right? Because we think, the more I think about this and the more I turn it over in my mind and the more I worry about it, then I'm going to be able to kind of control things. But it says here that God is in control. It says here in Ephesians, it says all over the Bible, and we know that he is sovereign over all. So we give up our control, we stop overthinking, and we go to prayer. And we ask the Lord to calm us in our fears, just like I did the other morning when I was having all these thoughts. We ask the Lord, number one, first calm us in them and to help us see that he is in control and to follow him in all things. So you can definitely overthink things, but you can't over pray. So I encourage you today, as soon as you start to find yourself overthinking things, remember, you are not God and he is. I promise you, you will find that peace that surpasses all understanding when you stop in that moment and say, I'm not going to overthink. I'm just going to go to the Lord and pray. So I hope this encouraged you today. If it did, let me know. Share it with a friend. And until the next time, I wish you all the blessings and joy in Jesus today.